What's up everyone, Dorama here, and now that I finally got myself a Wii U and Smash Brothers for it, I'm finally ready to make my own review of the game. Now you may recall that me and my brother purchased the 3DS version on release day, but there's a few key differences in the two games that I'll point out when we get to it, but I don't have any way of capturing any of the 3DS footage without using a potato. So I'll just kind of talk about it when we get there without the footage. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go in this in a different kind of order for this review just to make sure that I cover as much as I can. So first off, I want to talk about the multiplayer mode, or the Smash mode of the game. In Smash mode, we have the typical 4-player free-for-all / team battle fighting mode, and the return of Special Smash. Now real quick, I want to get into Special Smash because there's a few new things in here, not much, but there's a few things that we have new in Special Smash that weren't in the previous games. We do have the return of a few different playstyles that we've seen in Brawl and Melee, but now players can also fight the match with the Leaf power-up from Mario Bros. 3, or the Tail power-up that gives you the Tanuki ears and tail, the Rocket Belt, and the Back Shield, and that's pretty much it. Those are the new features in the Smash Brothers for Special Smash. Now for the new section that's titled 8-Player Smash. So what can be said about 8-Player Smash that hasn't already been said? Or better yet, what really is there to say? 8-Player Smash is just that. It's 8 players, playing on the same screen at once. So like, have you ever been the 5th or 6th wheel at your friend's house when having a Smash Brothers tournament, or just playing for fun? Well, now up to 8 people can play at one time. The stages will be limited though, depending on how many people that you have playing at once to better suit the number of players on screen at a given time. There are even a couple of stages that are designed just for this mode. Now I'm not going to talk a lot about those stages, so if you want more info on those, you can try them out yourself, or you can look them up yourself and do a little more research on that. Basically, there's like a bigger battlefield, and then there's it's the stage from Kirby Superstar, what's it called? The treasure stage, where you anyway. So you may be asking, how can 8 people play at once if the Wii only registers 4 controllers at a time, 5 if you include the gamepad? Well, all you got to do is just connect any of your other remotes just like you would normally, and then just go into 8-Player Smash and turn the controller on, and that's it. The game will assign a number to each person, and there you go. So the next section I'm going to cover is the Games and More section. This is where you'll find the solo and group modes, the character customization, the stage builder, your vault with all your unlocks and trophies and things like that. And this is also the section where you will register your amiibo or amiibos if you have any. So in solo mode, you'll be able to play classic mode, the event matches, all-star mode, the stadium, and the special orders. Classic mode is a lot like a board game where you move your character around the board and you fight opponents. It's a bit different than past Smash games in the way that you get to choose who you fight and win. In my opinion, it's not quite as fun as the 3DS version, but it's not as random as the other games, seeing as how you get to, it shows you the stages you're going to be on, and the amount of characters that you're going to be fighting, and who it is. Occasionally an intruder will come in, and it'll replace one of the characters that would be in like a group match, and kick them out and replace them. So it's still not that as random though. I'm not gonna touch on the event matches in this game, only because I'm planning a Let's Play series on that, and I don't want to I didn't want to dive into it and start it before I got to do that. So when I start the Let's Play on the event matches, that'll be the first time that I ever go into the event matches on this game. All-Star mode has you facing opponents in order in which their games were released. And you can unlock special trophies for your the character that you're playing as, a lot like it was in Brawl. The Stadium mode has only 3 modes now. It has the Home Run Contest, Multi-Man Smash, and my personal favorite, Target Blast. Target Blast is a lot like mixing Angry Birds with the Home Run Contest. You deal damage to a bomb, and then you launch it with a smash attack, and it explodes on the targets and boxes with items and other unlockable stuff. The only difference is really that you don't have a bat. So you have, I think, 5 seconds to deal as much damage as you can without launching it beforehand. You can launch it whenever, but it'll blow up when the timer hits 0, so you just kind of have to time it right. Now I'm going to talk about the special orders. The special orders is divided into 2 sections, Master Orders and Crazy Orders. In Master Orders, you spend the gold that you earn in the game to play challenges, each with their own difficulty and rules, to unlock the prizes. Anything earned in Master Orders is given to you on the spot after each victory. Now Crazy Orders, on the other hand, the prizes will stack up, and the only way to actually earn them is to face off with Crazy Hand. You can do this at any time, but just be careful how many times you roll the dice, because your damage percentage doesn't reset to 0 after each battle. So technically you could go in and fight one match and then be done with it, and then face Crazy Hand and beat him, and there you go. Then you earned your loot, or whatever you want to call it. But you can do several different challenges in a row and then fight Crazy Hand and then get it that way if you think you're good enough. So also the way that you get into Crazy Orders, you can only play it if you have a certain amount of gold or a Crazy Orders pass, and you can unlock the passes through challenges and Master Orders and other game modes. The group section has all the same game modes as the solo, except you can play it with a friend, so there's really not much to say about that. The custom mode lets you make your own Mii fighters from 3 different fighting types: the gunner, the brawler, and the sword fighter. Each character slot comes with 4 different specials that you can choose from, and of course any modifiers that you've unlocked through the game and the other game modes. You can also attach them onto your character to make them stronger or faster or harder to knock out. You can also unlock different outfits and headgear for your Miis as well, so that's pretty cool. I don't have very much unlocked on my Wii U, but on my 3DS I have this awesome knight armor for my sword fighter, and I love it. My personal favorite among these is definitely the sword fighter, just because I'm more of a sword guy. I do really like the brawler, and I'm not much of hand-to-hand combat with some characters, although I do use Sonic and Little Mac a lot. But I really like the sword fighter because he shares a lot of similar moves with Link, and I think that's really cool. You can also unlock, I would say, hidden abilities for the regular fighters as well through the classic mode. They're not really hidden abilities, they're just other abilities and other specials that you can swap them out with just to change up their movesets, and you can do that here as well. You can assign up to 10 different character slots, each having their own unique movesets and modifiers. You can assign one moveset to a certain texture so that it's easy to remember which slot has which moves. So for instance, if the red Sonic has, you can make the red color Sonic have these moves with these modifiers, and the regular Sonic have these moves with these modifiers. Just make sure that you turn the custom fighter option on before you begin a match, or the moves won't be assigned properly, or they won't be assigned at all, I should say. While I'm on the subject of remembering to do stuff, in Smash 4, I go back and forth between using the gamepad and the classic controller, just because I usually just pick up the gamepad to turn the Wii on, and I just kind of play with it. or if I'm playing with my friends, if someone else wants to use the gamepad, I'm cool with using the classic controller. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you would know that in Brawl, I always use the Wii Remote sideways when I play. I don't know why, but in this game, for some reason, I just prefer these two controllers over the Wii Remote. But the problem is that I have different buttons assigned depending on if I'm using the gamepad or the controller, and I have to keep switching between them depending on which one I'm using. For some reason, the gamepad, classic controller, and pro controller all share the same control settings. Now, this doesn't sound as bad when I say it out loud, but when I play online or I switch from a free-for-all Smash to classic mode or another type of game mode, I have to go back and select my name with the assigned controls every time I want to use those controls. I guess what I'm saying is that I just wish that it would either ask me to sign in as a name, or give you the option to sign in when you start the game with, certain controls, seeing as how the game can pick up whether when you're using the gamepad or the classic controller. So I just kind of wish that they were separate, so that when I signed in on my name, when I'm using the gamepad, it would know that those buttons need to be assigned to that, and when I play with the classic controller, that it would know that those buttons needed to be assigned there. Sometimes I forget to switch my name when I'm playing online or something, or I go to a different game type, and I'll die because I forgot to switch the controls back to assign them to the classic controller when they were assigned to the gamepad's buttons. So, I mean, it's a minor complaint, but it's just something that really bugs me, that I have to keep going back and selecting it, and sometimes I'll forget, especially when I'm playing online and I leave a match and then come back in, and then I just start up a match and then like, oh crap, I forgot to select my name and or my profile, whatever you want to call it, that has my buttons assigned to it. Anyways, moving on. Next we have the stage builder, and it's just that, a stage builder. It's a lot simpler now because you can draw your layout using the gamepad, but the problem is that there are hardly any hazards or anything to put in your stages. Mostly just barrels and moving platforms. Oh, and lava. You can choose whether or not you want certain ledges to be grabbable or not, which could really throw you off guard, especially if you forgot to make a ledge grabbable, or if you didn't make it grabbable and you go to jump and grab it and you can't grab it. So it's, again, it's a minor complaint that I have, but you just gotta, especially if you're someone that makes a lot of stages, which I typically don't. In Brawl I did, but this game I've only made one stage so far, so but again, it's something that definitely has a lot of potential and could have been used way better. So next on this oversized list is Smash Tour. Now, if you haven't heard about it already, it's basically a Mario Party type board game where the players roll a number and move spaces accordingly on the board to pick up power-ups and characters to use in the final battle. Now, it sounds really good on paper, but since all the characters take their turns at once, it can really be chaotic, and most of the time, I'm not even sure what's happening. For instance, I'll see a character on the board and want to try to go for them, like, a character on the board that I want to try to pick up to use in the battle, and then my Mii will just go a completely different direction, or someone else will end up beating me to them on accident. It's not really my type of game, and for the record, Smash Fun was way better anyways. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the online mode. Here you'll see a few different options. With friends, where you can host or join private lobbies with your friends by yourself or with one other person on the same console. Like if me and my brother could play against two of my friends in the next town on my console, and then 2 people on the other console. With anyone gives you a few more options for fun, where you can have 4-player free-for-alls and team smashes against other people around the world with all item stages and pretty much chaos. So basically your regular Smash modes, but with a little bit of lag. And while I'm on the subject of lag, I'm going to point out that as long as you have a pretty decent connection, the game will play just fine. You'll notice a little bit of delay, but nowhere near as bad as Brawl's Online was. Now back to For Glory. Here you can play for mad respect, bro. Either with 4-player free-for-alls, team battles, or just go 1v1 Final Destination, headshots only. You can also view your online record to see your KD ratios and other things of the sort. There's also the Conquest mode that is held every so often that gives you a poll of characters. It's kind of like a debate to see which characters are preferred over others, I guess. If you want to vote in the poll, all you got to do is start up an online match with either of the characters shown, and that's pretty much it. You'll know if you add it to the Conquest if you see something like it usually comes up near the top where the when the match starts. You know where the name of the song comes up, and it says something like "This battle will be added to Conquest" or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it says, but it's something like that. So that pretty much wraps up my review for the latest installment of Super Smash Bros. 4 Wii U. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I did my best to make sure that I got as much into this game as I could before doing a review, so I hope this helps. And if you haven't played it yet, you're definitely missing out. Although in my opinion, it really isn't too much different than Brawl. But there are some notable differences, like the graphics and things like that. But for the most part, I think it plays a lot like Brawl as far as the handling and stuff goes. But you will be glad to see that the tripping has been completely removed. So for that, I give this game a 9 out of 10. I hope you enjoyed the video and this review. Let me know if you want to see more reviews and stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.